Hello everyone, this is Bobby at Copel TV Repair with one of those nagging, complaining, busting videos for customers that are just honest guys, probably with 30 plus experience in the business. I don't remember this particular one. We have, another one every other week or every week or sometimes twice a week. Companies that quote 30 years experience in the business, or just end customers whose repairs go south for whatever reason. In this particular case, there was an EEPROM for Vizio E422 VA, which did not make the customer's TV work, and as a result, they requested and pretty much forced the return on eBay. A word on that just a bit later, and it came back today. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference between a chip that was used and soldered on a board and a brand new one. I will leave you to decide which is which. I'm not going to tell you which is which. My videos are made mostly for intelligent people who can tell, even if they don't have 30 years experience in the business. But I'll give you a hint. One of those is a brand new chip. One of them is just returned. And by now you should have figured out which is which. So I'm not going to hold the suspense. I will just take the one that was returned and put it in our testing board, which will test it so that if it wasn't soldered on a board, I would never be able to tell that it was soldered on a board. I'm looking to find where's the first leg. Top left is where the first leg goes. So this is how it's gotta be. I'm sorry, but like most married men, my right hand is so much better than the left one. So putting it back and connecting to power. As I've said before, let's see if it starts blinking. As I've said before, this is how a chip is to be tested if you want it to remain in this exact form, in which if it doesn't work for you, we can sell it to somebody else who is better and knows when they need an EEPROM and how to test them and everything else. As we've done in many other, pretty much all of our videos, this is the right way to test an EEPROM if you want to be able to honestly return it. Now, if you don't care about honestly returning it, you can just use eBay, who has an extremely good policy, which is as long as the customer says something doesn't work, it's got to be returned. End of story. It doesn't matter if it looks nasty. It doesn't matter if it cannot be resold anymore to another customer who will see that it was used and rightfully complain. You just have to say it doesn't work. And there you go. You see the TV and the EEPROM working fine. As I've explained before, the garbled image that you see is because we're using a board from M421 VT, which uses slightly different encoding. Let me pull something here. Okay, there's the no signal thing. And as you can see in our other videos, press the menu. The garbled image is because that board here is from M421 VT, which you can tell by the presence of the connector for the Bluetooth. Even though we may have removed it. Where was it? It was somewhere here. While the TV, I'm still not seeing it, was somewhere up there. While the TV is E422 VA. And that is why there is a small difference in the coding, resulting in that garbled image. But nevertheless, the EEPROM works fine. And what I want to say is this. I call to everybody who is watching those videos, guys, start taking advantage of eBay. You buy stuff, if it doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, just say it doesn't work. Don't say you change your mind, don't say anything else. If it doesn't work for you, say it doesn't work for me. If it doesn't work for you because there's another problem, say it doesn't work. If it doesn't work because something else failed, it doesn't work. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work. And eBay's policy is so that they don't care. As long as a customer say it doesn't work, and they don't say, I ordered by mistake, I did something. It does not really matter what the real reason is for the problem. eBay's policy is so that the customer is always right, the vendor always has to pay shipping back and forth, and you don't even have to explain how many years you have been in business or what the customer said in their listing. None of that. Start taking advantage of that eBay policy, which gives you the ability to get away with everything that you do as long as it doesn't work for you, because it doesn't work. Which, I'm not asking you to lie. Pay attention. I'm asking you to say that if something doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I believe that this policy is extremely unfair. I do understand that it is hard to prove if you're in eBay position who is right, customer or vendor, because everybody can say anything. But I also believe there are many means to improve on the current situation. And the very first one of them is to actually recognize that the current situation is extremely disadvantageous, what's the proper word? Puts the sellers, puts the sellers to disadvantage. And they give explanations like, there is 1% bad apples, and we're looking to, go and satisfy the rest 99% of honest people, etc., etc. And all that is a pure bullshit. Because the truth is that there are things that can be done to satisfy this 1%, and there are businesses and areas and sectors of economy where the 1% is 60%. And long story short is there will be, and there will always will be, buyers that will take advantage of sellers, and there will always be sellers that take advantage of buyers. No denial there. But there are many ways that this can be improved upon. One of them is, in case of a dispute resolution, we've offered that many times. Prior to entering into a transaction, we tell eBay, listen, if there is a dispute that we cannot resolve, we and buyers together, we agree that the proceedings from both sides, instead of one side taking all the hit like it is now, it doesn't really matter which one. The proceedings can go to a charity of choice. So I decide which charity. If I disagree with a customer, my money go to somewhere as long as their money go to somewhere else, which is also some beneficial cause. This way, both sides contribute to something that is supposedly good if they cannot settle something between themselves. I'm ready to give money away to people as long as they go to somebody who has the short-sightedness, baldness, lack of morality to say, it's all your fault, it doesn't work for me. Look at what you said, you promised this will fix my TV. No, we did not. We sell stuff that works, as I show here, and we do not promise that it will fix your TV. Quite the contrary, we say we cannot promise that this will fix your TV because we do not know what is wrong with your TV, and because there is no simple way to know whether an EEPROM is bad or not. An EEPROM can be bad for many reasons, and the listing is extremely clear in saying so. The only reliable way of knowing if it works is to do exactly what I've done here. Put it on a socket, on a board. Well, not necessarily on a socket. The socket is the right way so that you don't affect it in any mechanical way, and see if it works. And even that is not 100% reliable, of course, because I didn't test any of the built-in applications and everything. But I can see that at least it starts up, it can operate a TV. This is what it covers the basis. That is all. Again, I call to everybody to start taking advantage of eBay's very generous return policy until it gets so bad that they actually have to recognize it, that it's very biased and unfair and puts all the responsibility to one side, which is simply not acceptable. I believe that I've tried and I've spoken with eBay, and I asked them many times, and I've spoken with different representatives, and sometimes I get sympathy and apologies that, there's nothing I can do, those are the rules, and we try to improve, and we try together, and because 99% of the customers are good, but there is this 1%, but there's still nothing I can do. And when I tell them, I said to one customer like this one, thank you for raping us, you got it your way, hope you feel good, and they left us negative feedback because, of course, we issued them refund first. They left us negative feedback because we use offensive language. And I looked up the definition of raping, and I still feel raped about how this whole process goes when people blame us for their failure to properly diagnose and repair something, and they send stuff back in direct violation of our terms and conditions in the listing that I cannot sell as new one anymore without lying to somebody. So my choices are I gotta clean that the best that I can, and I have to sell it to somebody as brand new. And if that somebody is good and smart enough, they will catch me and they will say you're lying, that you're saying that you're selling a brand new stuff. And what's more, I have to pay for the exercise of a moron who doesn't read and doesn't abide by the terms in the listing that he agreed to. And when it goes to eBay, and eBay has to make a decision, and I tell them that I feel raped for the customer breaking an agreement and returning sometimes stuff that works, like in this case, sometimes stuff that is broken, and whether I should be, what should I be doing? They say, well, you know what, we're okay with you and all of your responses so far, except this last line that wasn't called for. And I tell them, okay, so customer screwed up. We provided everything that we could have provided, including telling them what actually goes wrong, offering them to repair the board. But no, they have it their way. They just want their money back. We pay shipping back and forth. We receive back a used part. Customer pays nothing for this whole thing. So basically what you're telling me, I say to eBay, is I have to learn to say thank you for being raped. And eBay representative responded to me yesterday, well, sometimes, yeah. To which I said, thank you, and hung up the phone. Of course, that leaves me with a moral victory. And, unfortunately, we live in a material world. So the moral victory costs nothing, which is why I call for all of you, start taking advantage of eBay. When something doesn't work for you, say it doesn't work for you. Don't lie. I'm against lying, but if it doesn't work for you, just say it didn't work. I want to return it. So the seller will have to cover all the costs, and at some point, sellers will be so outraged by all this that eBay will have to do something hopefully positive about it. That's all. Thank you.